Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Ask Elly, Intuitive Insights and Your Psychic Questions Answered. I am your hostess, and my name is Elly Molina. I am an intuitive, an educator, an author, and a consultant. And today we are going to talk about some of the questions that have been asked of me this past week. And of course, I'm going to touch upon some astrological events because I just love astrology. And I'm excited to have you here with me today and open to asking your questions. And I will do my best to answer them as I move forward. So, good morning, good morning, good morning for all of those who have entered the room on this live call today. I'm so excited to have you here. Today is December 15th, as I said, and we have just gotten past the solar eclipse and the new moon yesterday in Sagittarius. So, what that translates for us is new openings, new beginnings. We do not have to wait until January 1st on the calendar to create this. It is a planetary opening that has happened. We also had a planetary opening on 12/12, which is a portal opening that is not astrological, that is more numerical. And so right now we are open. And with this openness that exists, we have to be really, really mindful and careful as to what we are going to allow to come in from the universe and what we are going to accept as our reality and what we're going to be creating as our reality. So with that in mind and that spoken, just want to really recap where we are astrologically right now. We have a Venus sextile Jupiter that happened on the 14th. So this was a great day to take on, I guess, really romantic things and really create the new for ourselves. And we had sensational aspects yesterday that really, again, opened up so much of the portal. So I'm just going to reiterate this again. Please declare what it is that you want to have your intentions be on and stay focused and on your path. Do not let doubt and worry and anxiety creep in there. Take control over your mind and your thoughts, especially now. So today we have a Venus sextile Saturn in Scorpio, Capricorn. This is a great day if you're looking to commit. Venus enters Sagittarius. This is playful. This is exciting. If you're feeling romantic and having those romance sparks come through you, if you feel Cupid's arrow out there, even though it could be the dead of winter where you are, let the arrow hit and start sending your love. And hi, everybody. Hi, Vinny, who's entered. Hi, Chucka and Billy's Not Your Cup of Tea. Hi, Christina. Good morning. And questions for you. Questions for me, just ask, call in, or type them into the chat and I'll get to them. Okay, now exciting news for some people. Depends if you're a yay sayer or a naysayer. A lot of people are worried that I've heard about the Saturn entering Aquarius for the first time since February of 1991. And you know what? I don't see why anybody would be worried about that. It's going to be a wonderful time. Again, it's your intention. Where do you want to go with this? Saturn in Aquarius is going to be all about setting people free. So we're going to see a lot of freedom happening. And Saturn will teach us what kind of freedom do we want to have? How free do we want and will we allow ourselves to be? Do we want to be controlled by other people? Do we want to be controlled and dictated to? Again, do you want people to tell you what to do with your life? Guidelines are great. I do believe in rules. This is a personal opinion. It's up to you to see how much freedom you want to allow in your life. Saturn will declare that for you. Saturn will bring that right to the forefront. Saturn will say to you, hey, are you going to be a leader? Are you going to be a follower? Are you going to abide by all the rules, whether they make sense or they don't make sense? Or are you going to declare freedom as a personal value, a high value for yourself, and not be among the herd mentality? and do what you're told to do just because someone who has a degree or some level of authority has told you what to do. You are free thinkers. That is the beauty of being a human. So you want to use your freedom, and Saturn is going to make sure that you do if you are aligned with the frequencies. Of course, if you're not, it won't make a difference anyway. So, okay, with that being said, does anybody have any questions before I move on with one more little astrological input? And that is that Jupiter enters Aquarius today, again, for the first time since January of 2009. It's going to stay there until 2021. This is going to be between Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Freedom is gonna ring. Those bells are going to ring. So woe be it to anyone who's looking to limit our freedom during these next few years. They're going to be up against the battle of Saturn and Jupiter. So this will be, it's not even a interesting personal battle. It's really going to be, can these entities really battle up against the planets and astrology? Time will tell. And good morning to NVP Donna. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to have everybody on the call today. What an exciting day. Okay. I'm going to get to some of the questions that were submitted to me earlier today. And before I start, I just want to plug two events. If anyone is in Brooklyn or lives near Brooklyn, there is going to be a showcasing of two short films in a space called Miku in Bushwick, Brooklyn, this coming Friday at 8 p.m. And if anyone's interested in having voice and art lessons, Jen's running a program for children and adults. And so you can follow her at Jennifer Pyron. That's PYRON.com. So it's Jennifer PYRON.com. And check her out. She's got programs for adults and children in art and in music. And she's a wonderful musician, gifted. And so anyway, just head on over to her website, and I will actually type it into the chat for anybody who's here and wants to see it. And just give me a second over here while I type into the chat. All right. And then I have another plug for small businesses out in Brooklyn. Again, one of the members of our tribe has begun a website to help small businesses at this time, because we all know that if you are in New York, you get what's going on. And so therefore, it would be wonderful if you are looking for support and you are a small business, that you connect with the small business. I'm just looking we've had some solar flares. This is just an aside because I'm actually quite challenged by this right now. We've had some solar flares come down this week. And so some of my electronics, between my psychic energy and the solar flares, some of my psychic electronical things over here are getting not tampered with, but I'm stressed. So like, oh no. And okay, so I just wanted to run a plug by you that I'm looking for it right now. My email kind of disappeared on me at this moment in time. And anyway, I'm so sorry. I am unable to find it right now. So please look up small business or hit me up with an email if you're interested. If you are in Brooklyn and you are looking for support in your small business, please send me an email and I'm going to get right to it. Okay, so questions, any questions about that? All right, not seeing any questions over here. Okay. One of the first questions that was submitted to me during this last week was a question that said, dear Elly, I went over our session notes, and a lot of the things that you said came to fruition. However, there were some things that were said that took a very different turn. And I'm wondering what happened to that. And that is from SR out of Europe. So that alongside with another question of just similar, just, I guess I'm going to say similar interest, different wording, is someone out of Brooklyn, New York, which was, Elly, it's been predicted that I'm to meet someone. Even my Vedic astrologer predicted it, that it was supposed to have happened. And none of this has happened right now. And I'm wondering what's the deal. And so the answer to both of these questions, and perhaps many other people who have had this experience of asking, hey, for something to happen in the world, hey, we want to manifest something in particular, or I've had a psychic reading and they told me that I was going to meet this guy or this woman and it never happened, or this was to happen or that was to happen. How come? And the question is, why didn't it happen for me? So this is a question that has multiple answers. So I'm going to begin with the first answer that comes to me, which is that in the quantum space, in the quantum universe, there are infinite potentials and there are infinite potentialities. So we choose a timeline and then we step into that timeline and work with that, and either that happens for us, and that could sound, either it happens or it doesn't happen because of the timeline that we've chosen. Because you have to remember, as human beings, we are making moment to moment choices. Like, am I going to get up now from this table, or am I going to sit here for 5 minutes? And we don't even realize that every single choice, moment to moment, second to second, is affecting the quantum field and what's happening in our life. So again, that's a big thing to wrap your head around, especially if you're saying to yourself, okay, I can't be conscious of all my choices every single moment, because we are working in habitual behaviors. It's too much for the brain, the mind, the consciousness to absorb, to work with all of the information that is constantly being provided to us. We can only see the few 6 inches between our eyes, and we don't see what's happening behind our head. We can't even smell what, I heard this the other day. It's really fabulous, and I have to share that we have our nose directly above our mouth. And if you haven't brushed your teeth for 3 days, you won't be able to smell what's coming out of your mouth, but everybody else in the room can. So it is that lack of awareness, that lack of consciousness that exists for us as human beings. And what we're looking to do is, and listen, in my world, what we're looking to do is strive to achieve a higher level of consciousness and awareness every single day in all that we do, and to start to use our experience here on earth to fulfill upon as much of our human potential as we possibly can. And this is my purpose for being on this planet, to help others fulfill on their human potential, and to help myself fulfill on my own human potential, and in the process help others. So now, circling back to, why don't my things come to fruition? Well, the old James Allen and many other philosophers, even Emerson, sum it up very well when they say, man is what he thinks about all day long. And that is the same for man or woman, human beings. This is what we think about all day long. And What do you think about all day long? Do you think about your problems? Have you ever taken into account what your daily thoughts are? Do you check in to see what monkey mind are those random thoughts that are constantly running? Oh, I'm never going to meet anybody. I'm never going to have that happen. Oh, it happens for everybody else, but it doesn't happen for me. Have you ever taken account as to what the story is, what the storyline is that you're telling yourself all day long? Because I'm going to say, if your manifestations are not coming to fruition, the first place to look is not outwardly at the psychic reading, because the psychic reading will reveal what is there as a potential possibility, what is in what I call the realm. So if let's go back now a little bit, because I'm jumping the gun all over. So let's say I do a reading for SR, okay? And I say, hey, listen, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this wonderful man in your life. I'm seeing this wonderful relationship. All of these things are really, really wonderful. And then, boom, this person arrives into your relationship, into your space, and he really is wonderful. Okay, now the question becomes, what is the story? What is running all day long in your mind? Because as I said before, every moment is a choice point. So do I get up off the table right now, or do I walk out the door now? It makes a difference. Do I think, oh my God, he didn't call me at 10 o'clock? It must mean something. Maybe he's really not that into me. Maybe he's seeing somebody else. Well, if that's a thought that pops up for you, that is a energy that you have just now put into the universe. And that energy and that thought is fulfilling on a deeper subconscious program that is also running the show. Because if you remember, the subconscious controls over 99, or I'm going to say 98% of what we do. So you may think that you're running the show, but you're really not. It is your subconscious that is running the show most of the time. You are on autopilot. So the fastest way to check as to what the subconscious is doing is to look at your conversations with yourself. How often are you saying to yourself when you catch yourself, oh, this isn't going to work. I don't know why I'm doing it anyway. Okay, if that's what you said, you know what your result is going to be? Oh, this isn't going to work. And there's probably a really deep programming that you have from the time that you were 2 years old plus, because this is when the subconscious starts to create from the moment that you are born, and the conversations that you begin to inherit from around you, from your parents and your caretakers and those people who have influence over you from the time that you are an infant until your 8th birthday. So it is extremely difficult to break those patterns because they're unconscious. And so most of them. And so if you're not working with a hypnotherapist, or you're not working on self-development, or you're not working with a therapist, a lot of these or consultant, whoever you want to work with, these remain unseen, but they do run the show. And so one of the things that I do in my programs when I work with people is we look to uncover as much as we possibly can in a very limited way. I mean, in a limited amount of time, as to what's really going on with the subconscious, what is happening there, and what are you telling yourself? Because you could spend years in therapy just talking about the same old story over and over again, and all you'll be doing is imprinting onto the conscious mind and confirming for the subconscious the same old story. So you want to break out of the same old pattern of what you've been telling yourself. Okay, so now let's get back to why don't these things come to fruition? All right, we're going to move on to something else right now really quickly, but it's still all about relationship. Okay, and it's all the same, because in a psychic reading, what a really good psychic will do will pick up again as to potential possibilities around you and what your higher self really does want to have happen. And then with your higher self in tune to your, let's call it lower self, to your subconscious, when the two of these entities are working together in harmonious partnership, then you can consciously achieve what it is that you want to have happen. It can happen for you. Only the key is working with your subconscious and your conscious mind. So let's get back to what it is that you're thinking all day. Okay, I can't, I won't be able to, it's never going to work. I was told that I was going to meet somebody, it didn't happen. Did I miss my time? Oh. The quality of your life is determined and dependent on the questions you ask yourself. So if you're going to be running around asking yourself, why didn't I meet him yet? Why didn't I meet her yet? Why don't I have a really good job? Why don't I have this happen? When is this going to happen for me? What kind of questions are you asking yourself? Would you consider those questions quality questions? I don't. I would prefer that my clients ask themselves questions like, what will it take to meet somebody? What will it take to bring that love into my life? Well, maybe it means that you're going to have to go out of your home or that you'll have to do some online dating. Maybe it will mean that you're going to have to change your attitude and your energy pattern so that you become more effervescent. By declaring and becoming more effervescent in your own energy pattern and in your own energy being, you attract things into your life from the quantum field that you cannot even imagine. So this is just random, but I have to share. This past week, I have received 3 random gifts. I have no idea who the sender is, and I am very grateful for the universe for sending these gifts to me. So far, I have received almost every single day, the last 5 days, except for Sunday, a gift from Amazon. No note, no clue who has sent this to me. Even if I wanted to, the gifts are so different in nature that I couldn't randomly speculate. Oh, can I use my psychic ability? Perhaps, only the quantum field is so large that in this case, because I'm reading it for myself, I can only see one sender at this moment in time, but the other 2 gifts have just thrown it off. So anyway, it's been fun. And if anybody over here has been sending me those gifts, come forward and let me know. And I'm really thankful to you. And I'm going to be sending my own Secret Santa gifts out randomly this coming week. It's been a lot of fun. But now getting back to the reason why I mention the gifts is because vibrating at an effervescent energy attracts the unknown to you. I had no idea that people are going to be sending me gifts. I hadn't asked for it. It wasn't even in my consciousness, not in my consciousness. However, am I perhaps subconsciously, energetically drawing forth gifts of abundance? Well, I'm going to answer that and say yes. So now we take that energy. You want to meet somebody? You want to win a lotto? You want a new job? You want someone to contact you? You set an intention of abundance and love and happiness, and then you start to align your self-talk, the questions that you're asking yourself, with what it is that you want. Okay, what will it take for me to meet somebody? What will it take to bring in a relationship? What will it take to have me get into a relationship right now? What will it take to have the relationship that I'm in be loving and kind and wonderful? What will it take? What do I need to learn from this? What am I projecting forward? What fears am I bringing into this relationship? Okay, so it just so happens that I did get some follow-up information this last week on some of the questions that had been asked about, oh, this relationship is taking a little side turn. And it was very interesting because an aspect that was revealed in the conversation showed me that there was something at play in the person's subconscious that was now attracting not only this particular type of person into her life, but driving the relationship forward into that direction. And it was the subconscious that was doing this. And it was revealing, it was peeking out through the language. So we have to be really, really mindful of what language are we using, even outwardly to other people. If you're over there reconfirming to people, oh, my business isn't working. Oh, I'm just not meeting anybody. Oh, this is all such a strain. What are you confirming to the universe? What are you doing? Okay. So that is why I particularly love to use a technique called the rewrite. And that is when something doesn't work, I take a look immediately at, okay, this didn't work. What could I do to change that? So that's a better question as to lament it. So what could I do to change that? What would it take to change the outcome on that? And then usually during the course of the day or even instantly, I receive an answer. It's a better quality question. And then I rewrite it to have that outcome. So let's take, for example, the relationship that the client was discussing. Well, this could be rewritten in terms of, well, I caught my behavior, I caught the thoughts that I was thinking, I changed them immediately, and then behaved in such a way to trust and to send heart energy and to trust. And that energy alone will now bring a different result because you know yourself when you are being mistrustful and you're being skeptical and you are not trusting in the process, the subconscious acts through the body to start to send all of these messages. And the body cannot lie. And that's why, again, we get back into body language and we get back into looking at, why do I not trust this particular situation? And I'm sitting right here, I trust the words, but there's something here, I just don't trust it. That's because you're picking up a lot of information through the unseen realm in body language and subconscious cues that your subconscious is able to pick up, but your conscious then negates or denies because you don't want it to be true, or it's not effective, or it doesn't give you the answer that you really want to be having consciously for your outcome. So one of the things I'm going to suggest is that when you do want something to happen, let's just take something really so random and, hey, you want to win the lotto? There's actually methods to winning the lottery. And one of the first methods of winning the lottery is to believe that you can be a lottery winner. And so we can look at the lottery now as being a lottery winner as a metaphor. And so if you want to win something in your life, take a look at your past. You've all had experiences where you have manifested something into your life and it happened quickly. And you said, like, wow, how come that worked? Okay. Well, take a look at what you were doing. That's the first place to look. Take a look at what you were doing. And what were you thinking? Because for sure, your energy was very different from your energy at the time where you're not manifesting and you're not having life turn out the way that you want it to. Your energy is different. Your thoughts are different. You were probably really gung-ho and in total belief that you could have this with all certainty, and everything then began to align itself for you. So you knew that this was going to happen. And then your proof was there, which strengthened your resolve, and things just began to move because you were in alignment and the frequencies were aligned and it was all moving you forward. But when your subconscious and your conscious are not in alignment with the words that you say you want, it's going to be a big challenge to have that. So again, with all of that being said, you want to always look within rather than look without first. Now, mind you, sometimes the planets do have an effect on what's going on. So you want to take a good look at where you were in 1991 and what you were thinking back in 1991 and how your life was in 1991, because this is going to be where Saturn entered into Aquarius into your chart. It's going to have an effect. Now, that doesn't mean that you're having a replay of 1991 because you are no longer that person and you've had so many different experiences since then, but you want to take a look at where your energy was in 1991. And then with that, you want to look at what will it take to change things so that I can have what it is that I want and have a lot of clarity around that. And you're going to find out that that is going to be the key to your manifestations. It all comes down to belief. It comes down to expectations, removing all of the doubts and the fears, and you have to overcome them and remove them in order to have what you want. And the three best ways to do that in a nutshell is self-talk, then it is hypnosis. And you can do your own hypnosis, or you can listen to all of the wonderful hypnosis YouTubes that are available for you. And then the third one is environment. You want to be very conscious of your environment, because your environment speaks and screams louder than you can possibly hear. And with that being said, it leads us into another wonderful conversation about environment and vision, which we will talk about next week on Ask Elly, Intuitive Insights and Your Questions Answered. So I thank you all for being here today. It's been wonderful. Please send me emails. I am at elly@ellymolina.com, and send in your questions, send in your comments, get on my newsletter. And I look forward to being engaged with all of you. I send you lots of love, happiness, blessings. Go make your manifestations come true. You know what to do. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being on the call, and have a blessed week. Take care. See you soon.